This instruction is clear: hold your tongue. This is not the time to talk. In a world addicted to noise, opinions, instant reactions, and public validation, silence has become rare, misunderstood, and undervalued. Yet some of the greatest victories in history were not won by speeches, arguments, or explanations, but by restraint. There are moments when speaking feels justified, necessary, even righteous. But wisdom asks a deeper question: is this the right time? Not every thought needs a voice, and not every truth needs to be announced immediately. Maturity is not proven by how much you say, but by how much you can withhold until the moment is right. Holding your tongue is not weakness, it is discipline. It is strength under control. Anyone can react, anyone can lash out, anyone can speak from emotion, but it takes character to pause, to breathe, to observe, and to choose silence when your ego demands expression. Silence is often the space where clarity is born. When you stop talking, you start seeing. When you stop explaining, you start understanding. When you stop defending yourself, truth begins to defend you. There are seasons when talking too much delays progress. You explain your plans to people who are never meant to understand them. You announce dreams to minds that are committed to doubt. You justify decisions to those who have no authority over your destiny. In doing so, you leak energy, confidence, and focus. Some doors close not because you were wrong, but because you spoke too early. Some battles grow larger, not because they were strong, but because you fed them with words. This is not the time to talk because not everyone listening wants your success. Some listen to criticize, some to compete, some to sabotage, and some simply to feel superior. Silence protects what is still forming. Just as a seed grows underground before it ever breaks the surface, your next level requires hidden development. You do not dig up a seed every day to check if it's growing. You trust the process. Silence is trust in motion. Holding your tongue is also about mastering emotion. Anger wants to speak. Hurt wants to explain. Pride wants to prove. Fear wants reassurance. But wisdom waits. Words spoken in emotion often need to be repaired with regret. One sentence can undo years of discipline. One reaction can cost credibility. One careless response can burn bridges that were meant to carry you forward. Silence gives emotion time to settle so truth can rise. There is authority in restraint. When you speak less, people listen more. When you don't rush to defend yourself, your confidence becomes undeniable. When you let results speak, arguments lose power. Silence shifts the balance of control. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. Often, they are the most insecure. The calm, observant, deliberate individual carries gravity. Their words, when finally spoken, carry weight because they are rare and intentional. This instruction is clear because destiny demands it. You cannot carry tomorrow's responsibility with today's loose tongue. Leadership requires discretion. Growth requires focus. Transformation requires patience. There are conversations that will come later, explanations that will make sense in hindsight, and revelations that will be celebrated when the time is right. But forcing them early only creates resistance. Holding your tongue also means resisting the urge to correct everyone. Not every misunderstanding needs clarification. Not every accusation deserves a response. Sometimes silence exposes the truth faster than argument ever could. People reveal their intentions when you stop interrupting them. Situations resolve themselves when you stop interfering. Peace grows when you stop trying to control every narrative. This is not the time to talk because you are being shaped. Quiet seasons are preparation seasons. When everything is silent, growth is happening internally. Your mindset is being refined, your character strengthened, your vision sharpened. Noise distracts from this work. Silence allows you to hear what really matters: intuition, wisdom, and direction that only emerges when the external world grows quiet. There is also a spiritual dimension to silence. Many breakthroughs are delayed not by lack of effort, but by lack of restraint. Words carry power, and careless words can bind you to situations you were meant to outgrow. Complaints reinforce limitation. Negative declarations plant fear. Overexposure invites interference. Silence, on the other hand, preserves momentum. It keeps your inner world aligned while the outer world catches up. Holding your tongue does not mean suppressing truth forever. It means storing it safely until the right moment. There will be a time to speak clearly, boldly, and effectively. But timing turns truth into wisdom. A premature word can close ears, while a timely word can open doors. Wisdom is not just knowing what to say, but knowing when to say nothing. Look at the moments you regret most, and you'll often find words spoken too quickly. Look at the moments you're proudest of, and you'll often find restraint. Silence has saved reputations, preserved relationships, and protected futures. It has prevented unnecessary wars and unnecessary losses. It has given people the space to change without being pushed. This instruction is clear because the moment demands it. You are standing at the edge of growth, and growth requires discipline. Hold your tongue when provoked. Hold your tongue when misunderstood. Hold your tongue when tempted to prove yourself. Let your actions build the narrative. Let your consistency answer the questions. Let time reveal what words cannot. This is not the time to talk. It is the time to observe, to build, to prepare, to strengthen. The time to speak will come, and when it does, your words will land with precision and power. Until then, silence is not empty. It is full of intention, strategy, and strength. The power of silence is greater than the noise of reaction, because reaction is impulsive, but silence is intentional. Reaction is driven by emotion in the moment, by anger, fear, pride, or the need to be seen and heard. Silence, however, is chosen. It is the pause that interrupts chaos. When you react, you surrender control to the situation. When you remain silent, you take control back. Noise may feel powerful, but it is temporary. Silence feels uncomfortable, yet it produces lasting strength. Reaction speaks fast and thinks later. Silence thinks deeply and speaks only when necessary. In moments of pressure, the world pushes you to respond immediately, to defend yourself, to clarify, to explain, to argue your position. But wisdom understands that not every trigger deserves a response. Silence creates space between what happens to you and how you respond to it, and in that space lies mastery. That space is where maturity lives. That space is where destiny is protected. The noise of reaction often escalates conflict. One word invites another, one tone sharpens the next, and soon the situation grows bigger than it ever needed to be. Silence interrupts that cycle. It refuses to add fuel to the fire. It starves chaos of attention. Many battles lose their power the moment you stop feeding them with words. Silence is not passive. It is strategic withdrawal from unnecessary warfare. Silence also sharpens perception. When you stop reacting, you start noticing. You hear what people are really saying beneath their words. You observe motives, patterns, and intentions that would have been missed if you were busy defending yourself. Reaction blinds, silence reveals. The quiet person often sees the whole picture, while others are trapped inside their emotions. There is also authority in silence. When you do not rush to speak, your words gain value. People learn that when you talk, it matters. Reaction cheapens language, silence preserves it. Anyone can shout, argue, or justify themselves. Few can remain calm, steady, and unmoved. That calm sends a message louder than any argument. You are not shaken, you are not threatened, and you are not controlled by external pressure. The power of silence is greater because it protects you from regret. Words spoken in reaction cannot be taken back. They echo long after the moment has passed. Silence gives time for emotions to settle so wisdom can lead. It prevents you from saying today what you will apologize for tomorrow. It keeps your future clean from the stains of impulsive speech. Silence also aligns you with purpose. Reaction keeps you stuck in the moment. Silence keeps you focused on the mission. When you react, you drift sideways. When you stay silent, you move forward. Not every comment deserves your energy. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Silence helps you conserve strength for what actually matters. In the end, silence is not about fear or avoidance. It is about power under control. It is knowing that you do not need to win every argument to win in life. It is trusting that truth, consistency, and time will speak on your behalf. When reaction is loud but empty, silence stands firm and full. That is why its power is greater. Aiming determines whether words become wisdom or weapons, because the same truth spoken at the wrong moment can wound instead of heal, divide instead of unite, and destroy instead of build. words do not exist in isolation, they land in seasons, emotions, and circumstances. When timing is ignored, even good intentions can produce harmful outcomes. Wisdom is not just about what is said, it is about when it is released. A word ahead of its time is not insight, it is interference. When emotions are high, words become weapons. In moments of anger, pain, or pride, language sharpens. Tone hardens, compassion fades, and truth turns into accusation. Even facts lose their power when timing is wrong. People stop hearing meaning and start defending themselves. The message may be correct, but the moment is hostile. In such moments, silence is not avoidance, it is protection. It keeps truth from being misused as a blade. Timing transforms intention into impact. A correction given too early feels like control. Advice offered before trust is built feels like judgment. Revelation shared before maturity feels overwhelming. Wisdom waits until hearts are open and ears are ready. It understands that people must be prepared to receive truth before truth can do its work. When timing is right, even difficult words are welcomed. When timing is wrong, even gentle words are resisted. Words spoken too soon often expose vulnerability to those who are not safe. Dreams shared prematurely invite doubt. Plans explained too early invite interference. Truth revealed before alignment invites opposition. Timing acts as a filter, determining who has access to your thoughts, your vision, and your next move. What is spoken out of season becomes a target. What is spoken in season becomes guidance. Timing also determines authority. When you speak at the right moment, your words carry weight because they align with reality as it unfolds. When you speak too much or too often, words lose value. Silence builds credibility, restraint builds trust. Then, when the moment finally arrives, your voice commands attention. Wisdom understands that restraint is not silence forever. It is silence until impact is guaranteed. Weapons are designed to wound, and poorly timed words often do exactly that. They reopen wounds, deepen conflict, and create unnecessary resistance. Wisdom, however, knows how to heal. It speaks when clarity has replaced chaos, when understanding has replaced defensiveness, and when timing has prepared the ground. In that moment, words do not attack, they align, instruct, and elevate. Timing protects relationships. Many connections are not destroyed by truth, but by untimely truth. There are conversations that require emotional readiness, trust, and patience. Forcing them early creates fractures that could have been avoided. Waiting allows growth. Waiting allows perspective. Waiting allows wisdom to shape the message so it builds instead of breaks. In the end, timing is the difference between a word that scars and a word that strengthens. Wisdom respects seasons. It understands that silence is often the guardian of truth, preserving it until the moment it can fulfill its purpose. When timing leads, words become light. When timing is ignored, words become weapons. Restraint today protects authority, destiny, and victory tomorrow, because what you choose not to do in the moment often matters more than what you choose to do. Authority is not built through constant reaction or emotional expression. It is built through consistency, self-control, and measured response. When you restrain yourself now, your tongue, your temper, your ego, you preserve credibility. People trust leaders who are not impulsive, who are not ruled by emotion, and who do not speak or act just to satisfy the moment. Restraint communicates stability, and stability is the foundation of authority. Authority is fragile when discipline is weak. One uncontrolled reaction can undo years of respect. One careless word can reduce influence. Restraint keeps you from stepping out of character when pressure rises. It ensures that your actions align with who you claim to be, even when you are provoked. When others lose control and you remain steady, your authority increases without you ever demanding it. Restraint also guards destiny. Destiny is not lost in one dramatic failure. It is often leaked through small, repeated moments of poor judgment. Speaking too much, reacting too fast, engaging unnecessary conflict. These distractions slowly pull you off course. Restraint keeps you focused on the long view. It reminds you that not every battle is yours to fight, and not every moment is meant to be addressed. By choosing restraint, you stay aligned with where you are going, not where the noise is pulling you. Destiny requires patience. What you are becoming cannot be rushed. and what you are building cannot be defended with emotion alone. There are doors that only open for those who know how to wait, how to endure silence, and how to carry themselves with discipline before recognition arrives. Restraint is proof that you can be trusted with more. If you cannot manage yourself in private moments, you cannot be entrusted with public responsibility. Victory tomorrow is often decided by restraint today. Many defeats are self-inflicted, not by lack of ability, but by lack of control. Victory demands clarity, and clarity is impossible when emotions dominate decisions. Restraint keeps your mind clear, your strategy intact, and your energy conserved. Instead of wasting strength on arguments, explanations, and reactions, you invest it in preparation, growth, and execution. Restraint also allows time to work in your favor. When you do not rush to respond, situations reveal themselves, truth surfaces, motives are exposed. What looked like a threat often fades when you do not magnify it with attention. Time becomes an ally instead of an enemy. Victory does not always come through confrontation, often it comes through endurance. Choosing restraint today is choosing long-term success over short-term relief. It is resisting the urge to feel justified now so you can be positioned to win later. It is understanding that silence, patience, and discipline are not delays, they are investments. Authority is preserved, destiny stays intact, and victory moves closer, not because you spoke louder, but because you stood stronger.